In the previous lesson, we looked at sales price. We are going to continue on with some more sales price problems today. Last time, the problems that we looked at focused on discount and percent off. So we were using this first set of equal fractions. Today's problems are really going to focus more on the second set of equal fractions. So just a reminder, sales price is the dollar amount paid for an item after a discount is taken off. Okay, the percent paid is the percent you actually pay for an item. So for example, if you have an item that is 20% off, that means you're paying 80% of the cost of that item. Let's look at some examples so we can kind of see what we're working with here. So in example 1, it says there is a 40% off sale at the Gap. Jane paid $54 for a jacket after the discount. What was the original price of the jacket? So what's important here is that we know what our percents match up with. So if we look, we are given the percent off. If you remember from the last lesson, percent off should go with the discount, or the dollar amount take off of an item. So dollar amount you take off. In this problem, we're given the percent off, but what we're given for the dollar amount is the amount she paid after the discount. So if you recall from previously here, the sales price is the amount you pay after the discount. So in other words, this percentage does not match up with our dollar amount. I do not have a discount. I have a sales price. And if I have a sales price, I need to see which percent I paid for the item. To find the amount, or the percent, that you paid for an item, you can use subtraction. So we have a total of 100%. We're taking 40% off of that original priced item. So this is our percent off. And what's left over is going to be the percent that we're paying, or the percent paid. Okay, so these problems require us to subtract. So we're going to use the 60% paid along with the sales price, or the amount paid after the discount, to help us find the original price. Since we do have a percent to work with, I'm going to recommend we switch the order of these two fractions. So we're going to put the percent fraction first. So 60 over 100 equals the sales price, which we found from the problem as 54, over the original. Remember, original should always be across from 100. You can see that here and here. So no matter which type of problem you're doing, 100 and the original should be across from each other. So now looking at this problem, I see they both end in 0. I can also see 54 wouldn't equally go into 60. So if I take a 0 for 0, or in other words, divide both numbers by 10, I do know that 6 goes into 54 equally. To get from 6 to 54, I'm going from a smaller number to a larger number, which means I'd be multiplying by 9. So that means to get my original price, I'm going to multiply by 9. So 10, remember we crossed this 0 off, 10 times 9 tells us the original price of the item was $90. Okay, so a $90 jacket with 40% off tells us we're paying $54. Okay, example 2. Nancy found a handbag that she liked that was $63. It was 30% off. What is the sales price of the handbag? So just looking back to the previous page, don't forget the discount goes over the original price. Across from discount would be percent off. Across from original would be 100. That was our one set of equal fractions. The other one was sales price, which I'm just going to abbreviate SP, over original. And sales price matches up with percent paid. And that goes over 100. So we have to determine which one we have the information to use. If you look, it's asking us to find the sales price of the item. When I look at a problem, I want to use the one that's going to get me my answer straight from my equal fractions. So since I'm looking for the sales price, I would want to use the one that's talking about sales price. We have an original price in this problem, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue here because we can just change our percent from percent off, which would be used over here, into percent paid. So just like we did in the first one, we're going to take 100%, or our total percent, subtract the 30% off, and what's left over is the percent of the item that we actually pay. So now what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm given a percent, so I'm going to flip these two fractions around and put the percent first. So 70 goes over 100. The handbag was $63. This is the original price, so that will go here. And then what I'm going to get from that information is my sales price. So what I would do in this case is I would take a 0 for a 0. I see that I have to do 63 divided by 10. And if you're not sure how to do that mentally, you can use your calculator. So to go from 10 to 63 means I'm multiplying by 6.3. Remember, we said decimals are okay here. So I'll do 7 times 6.3 to get my sales price. And that gives me 44.1 as my sales price. Now remember, we don't usually say, oh, I have $44.1 in my pocket. What we would need to do is make this number go out to the hundredths place in order to call it a dollar amount. So in order to make this go out, we're just going to attach a 0 at the end to make it go as far as we need. So in other words, the sales price, or the amount we pay for the jacket after the discount comes off, is $44.10. Okay, for our next example, there is a 25% off sale. The original price of an item is $36. What is the sales price? So with this one, I see I'm looking for the sales price, so I would like to use the equal fractions that deal with sales price. And that one, if you recall, was sales price over original. And I see I have a percent given to me, so I'm going to put my percent paid over 100 first. So now if you look, in order to get the sales price from this problem, I would need my percent paid. And I don't have the percent paid in the problem, I have the percent off. Very easily I can find the percent paid by taking my 100% total, subtracting the percent off, and that will leave me with the percent I'm actually paying for the item. I'm just going to fill in the numbers from my set of equal fractions here. Percent paid is 75. That goes over 100. I'm trying to find the sales price, and it tells me right in the problem the original price is $36. I'm going to do some simplifying here. 75 and 100 can both be divided by 25, which would give me 3/4. I always think in terms of quarters when I do anything with 25, 50, 75, and 100. So this would be rewritten as 3/4 equaling the sales price over 36. To get from 4 to 36, I'm multiplying by 9. So to get from 3 to my sales price, I also have to multiply by 9, which tells me the sales price of the item is $27. Okay, again, same types of problems as we've seen previously in this lesson. Now is one where it's going to step it up just a little bit. It says at the checkout, you open a credit card and get an additional 10% off the sales price. How much do you end up paying for the item? So this one gets to be just a little bit trickier because what we're going to need to do is take 10% off of the sales price that we have from here. So in other words, our sales price is $27. When we put this in to our equal fractions, this is now going to be the new original price. Because we're taking a percent off of that, we're going to want to use that number as that original. Okay, so anytime you're taking a percent off of an amount, that's the one that goes in your denominator. So once again, I'm looking for what I'm paying for the item, or the sales price that I'll be paying after that 10% comes off. So I'm going to start in the same way I did the previous part of this problem. I'm going to take 100%, which is my total. I'm going to take off that 10% and see that I'm paying 90%. So when I go to set up, my 90% is going to go over that 100. I'm looking to find my new sales price, or how much I'll be paying for it now that I'm having another discount taken off of it. And my 27 is going to be the new original, or the one that I'm using to find my new sales price. To do this, I'm going to simplify. I see a 0 for a 0. I'm going to do 27 divided by 10, which again, if you're not sure how to do mentally, you can use your calculator. To get from 10 to 27, I'm multiplying by 2.7. So to get from 9 to my sales price, I'm multiplying by 2.7. And that gives me a new sales price of 24.3, which again, we're going to attach a 0 to make a dollar amount. So I would end up paying $24.30 for the item. Okay, so this is what you would do if you're getting an additional percent off of the sales price. So this is an extra added 10% off of the sales price.